everyone, this is your Ramashree. Welcome back to Ramashree Social Classes. How are you all? Hoping happy and healthy. See friends, this week I came with a new topic, and the specialty of this topic is meant for especially DSC aspirants who are preparing for DSC. And here January ending of January or February starting, you may get the notification for new DSC, that will mega DSC. What a fantastic news to all the aspiration to get the DSC. So it's a part of DSC syllabus. Today I brought a new topic, that is Mughal Empire. See, now and then I am specifying few points for the DSC aspirants, hoping you can note it, and it definitely useful to you friends. Right, come back to the points. So, Mughal Empire. As you know, our country, India, is a vast country which is consists of many religions, caste, creed, and etc. And the administration of the country is so difficult. But many kings were ruled this vast country for some extent few years, but not complete country. Remember that. Some extent few rulers were ruled the country, but not complete India. But a new age began with the unification of the country and ruled complete country from Delhi to all over. From 1550 and 1780. It's nothing but Mughal Empire. Mughal Empire. Their administrative arrangements, ideas of governments and architectures influenced long after their decline. For example, Red Fort, which is present in Delhi. PM of India every year on Independence Day, who addresses our nation. That Red Fort is related to Mughal emperors. The grand constructions architecture belongs to Mughal Empire. Not only that, many monuments comes under this lesson. So now and then you focused on it. Next, let us know who were these Mughals. Where they belongs to. Mughal emperors belongs to Central Asian countries, which are Uzbekistan and Mongolia. And actually those were the rulers of Central Asian countries. But Babur, who was the first emperor of Mughal Empire, forcefully sending out from these countries and hand over by the another kings. After some years, he started his wandering to capture other countries. And in that action, he focused on Kabul, which is present in Pakistan. He focused Kabul on 1504, who was present in his uncle, means father's brother. And Kabul is a kingdom, actually it was a kingdom, and his uncle was ruled Kabul. Then that he did not have any heir, is a chance taken by the Babur, and he attacked on Kabul and forcefully captured Kabul in 1504. Remember that, 1504. Then he started his inventions from that area. He focused on Indian countries, especially Delhi in 1526. See, did you notice this? 1504 he came to Kabul. So how many years he was observed to capture the Indian countries? That is an important point, because India is a very strong country, and to attack India is not a simple thing. So many years he focused to capture Indian countries. So finally 1526 Babur attacked Delhi and he defeated Ibrahim Lodi in 1526, which is called as Panipat I. See here, Panipat wars were 3. 1, 2, 3. So under that, one Panipat or first Panipat war, Babur was defeated Ibrahim Lodi in 1526. Valid point, this is very important. Note, 1526 he captured Delhi with the defeat of Ibrahim Lodi. And the person Ibrahim Lodi, here you have to focus more the point of, DSC point of view. Lodi, he belongs to Sultan. Delhi Sultans. See, actually, here five dynasties were ruled Delhi. Dynasties. Did you remember how Vijayanagara kingdom ruled by five families? So in that manner, here we have many dynasties were ruled. So five dynasties were ruled Delhi. So it is called as Sultanats. Sultanat. The name Sultanat got by taking the position, by taking the authority. So the authority is nothing but Sultanat. So that is why they are called as sultans. Called as sultans. You have to remember that point. Now, the sequence of the sultans. So first, five families I said. So first one is Mumlak. Mumlak or slave family. It's a first dynasty, right? Mumlak or slave families. First dynasty. Second is Khilji. Alauddin Khilji. Did you remember? Alauddin Khilji belongs to Khilji's family. The Khilji belongs to Delhi Sultans. Right. Next, Tughlaq. So Alauddin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq, who changed his capital from Devanagari to place, and from that place to Devanagari, which is called as Mad King. Mad King of Delhi. So Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Next to Tughlaq family. Sayyid family. After that, Sayyid's family, and finally Lodi family. This Lodi family here, Ibrahim Lodi belongs. Excuse me. Ibrahim Lodi belongs to Lodi's family. Right. So here the sequence of these dynasties are very, very, very important. The point of view, BSc point of view. First, slave or Mumlak. Mumlak, Khilji, Tughlaq, Sayyid and Lodi. This is the sequence. You may get any 4 or 3 to arrange in correct manner. That is very important point. You just please note it out. Next thing, when Tughlaq was ruling Delhi, who was the Andhra's ruler? Who were the Andhra's ruler? Kakatiyas. Kakatiyas were ruler of Andhra. Next, when Vijayanagara kings were ruled Andhra, who was the Delhi Sultan? Lodi's family. Understand? So, consequences we have to link up with each other. The consequences means Andhra area is ruled by Kakatiyas. Then who was the Delhi Sultans at that time? Tughlaq. See how the points have to link up with each other. That is very important. See, some questions are so tricky. That is why we have to link up each and everything. That's why I am giving these points. When Vijayanagara kings were ruling Andhra area and Karnataka area, and who was the Delhi Sultans? Lodi's family or Lodi's dynasty. Remember, the sequence and contemporary issues, the contemporary persons are very important. Right. Next, Babur. So finally, Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi 1526, which is called as Panipat War I, and captured Delhi and Agra, both areas, Delhi and Agra, which are called as beautiful place of India, Agra. These two places were captured. So after that, here one more sequence is there, means the family of Mughals. First, Babur. Babur is also called as the founder of Mughal Empire in India, Babur. After Babur, his son Humayun came for ruling, and Humayun's son Akbar, Akbar's son Jahangir, Jahangir's son Shahjahan, Shahjahan's son Aurangzeb, finally Akbar too. So in this textbook, we got some information up to Aurangzeb only. They did not say about Akbar too or second Akbar. Let us discuss all these persons in a brief manner. See, this sequence also very important. See here, first founder of empire Babur, Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb and Akbar too, or second Akbar. This sequence also very important. Note it down. So here important points of this is Panipat War. What is the year of Panipat War? 1526. What were the persons? Babur and Ibrahim Lodi. Lodi belongs to which family? Ibrahim belongs to which family? Delhi Sultans are Lodi's family. Right. Next, Shah Jahan. Who was the father of Shah Jahan? Jahangir. Jahangir is a son of Akbar. Who was Akbar's grandfather? Babur. I hope these kind of silly questions they never ask. But by lucky we may get this kind of questions also. So here important points are the sequences of this and that. Next, how many years they ruled? 1550 to 1700 AD. After that what happened? After that Britishers came to India and they started their administration in India. Right. Next, Uzbekistan and Mongolia, these two are the Central Asian country which belongs to Mughal Empire. Mughals, which belongs to Mughal. Next, Kabul. In which year Babur captured Kabul? 1504. Next, which year Babur captured Delhi? 1526. On which one? Panipat 1. These are the important points of this portion. Important Mughal emperors, major campaigns and their events. Let us see one by one. As you know, Babur. First, Babur, his time was 1526 to 1530. Only 4 years he was ruled Delhi. And what were the major things or important events of him? Let us see. Founder of Mughals. We know that. Founder of Mughal Empire is Babur. 1526 he defeated Ibrahim Lodi, who belongs to Lodi's family. Right. And he got over the Agra and Delhi. Next, introduced cannons and guns in Indian warfare. Very important point. He introduced cannons and guns in Indian warfare. Who introduced before in India? Just you recall by yourself. Last lesson. Vijayanagara kings were called as Narasimha Raya. Narasimha Raya introduced cannons and guns. Particular person, Narasimha Raya, right? So, or Vijayanagara kings also introduced cannons and guns because they are very close relation. They bond very close relation with the Portuguese. Important point. This is also right. And here, South Indian side, Vijayanagara kings were introduced cannons and guns. In Delhi means north side. Babur means Mughal emperors introduced cannons and guns in Indian warfare. These are the important events of Babur. Next, Humayun. Humayun is the son of Babur and he ruled 1530 to 1556. Actually, Humayun is a lucky person. How? Let us see. So, Sher Khan defeated Humayun. Sher Khan defeated Humayun means Sher Khan is a person who defeated Humayun. Right. But after defeated, he forcefully flee to Iran. He forcefully came and flee to Iran. Just to throw him out to Iran. But with the help of Shahid Khan, Humayun, with the help of Shahid Khan, he recaptured, means regained Delhi again in 1555. See, what a lucky person. Because Sher Khan was defeated with the help of Shahid Khan by Humayun and again recaptured the same place in 1555. But what is the bad thing? The following year he was died with an accident. With an accident in 1556. See, very bad time it was. Right. Next, Akbar. Humayun's son was Akbar. See, Akbar, the very important and special points are there regarding Akbar. So 13, at the age of 13 years, he came for ruling and he received the throne. So here, important point is Mughal emperor. Who was the Mughal emperor received or captured the throne in very young age? Akbar. Because when he was 13 years age, he became a king. Because there was no option. Humayun was met with an accident, then there was no person to take the responsibility. Then Akbar came for ruling. And his period was 1556 and 1605. Next, see, continuously he captured remaining countries, remaining states of Andhra Pradesh, means remaining places of India, Bengal. See, in those times, Bengal was the big area of India. Next, Central India, Rajasthan and Gujarat. See, continuously he captured, rapid fire, because very engaged, he is very strong person, and with the help of Bairam Khan, he started his captures continuously, and also captured Afghanistan, Kashmir and part of Deccan. See, here we can see the maximum, more than 50% of Indian places captured by Akbar. Remember that. Who was the person captured more than half of the country? Akbar. We can see all the places here. Next, and he also started the military campaign. Before there was no person to implement new things, new techniques in armed force. But here Akbar started his military campaign. That is about Akbar. See, these are very brief information regarding Akbar. More than that, see, in general, if we see, he had given more importance to all religions. For example, for evidence or to show the witness of that he was giving importance to the all religion, equal importance to the all religion, he got married Jodha. She belongs to Rajput family. I hope you know that Jodha Akbar film also came. Right, Jodha Akbar. That Jodha belongs to Rajput family. Right. So all these points let us discuss it later. Now after that, Akbar's son Jahangir. Jahangir came for ruling in 1605 to 1627 AD. And here there was no major conquest received here. Only whatever his father introduced in the military campaign, just he was continued that. Okay, so nothing importance recorded by Jahangir. Look at the picture. This is Akbar's reign 1605, and you can observe this yellow shaded picture of India. More than 50% he conquered. Right. So now Shah Jahan. See, very famous personality, Shah Jahan, because he built Taj Mahal. We know that. See, his ruling started from 1627 to 1658 AD. Many years he ruled India. Right. So conquest with the continued his military campaigns, whatever his grandfather started and whatever his father, grandfather all continued, the same old military campaigns continued by the Shah Jahan in Deccan area. Next, see, if you observe this year, the period is more and more world, many revolutions were faced by Shah Jahan. Right. See, in general, don't listen anything, all these points, all these textual points, all this. See, briefly, with the naked eye, we can observe the monuments, the constructions which were constructed by Jahangir, the Taj Mahal, Red Fort, and many tombs were constructed by Mughal empires. See how much amount they spent for these constructions. Is it useful for them? For anyone? Definitely it was useful for them only. Because to show their royalty, to show their power to the people and as well other countries' kings, they constructed all this. Especially Shah Jahan spent huge amount for the monuments. So that's why even the people, the common person were very much struggled to pay the taxes and even they struggled to get the food. Right. Come to the points. He continued military campaigns in Deccan area. Next, faced many revolts by nobles and chiefs. Noble family which were favored to the persons and chief which were very much impressing persons or the courtier persons, even that persons also opposed. They started revolution among them. And 1657, 1658, these 2 years was conflict among his sons. Conflict among his sons. Actually, he had 4 sons. Under that, Aurangzeb was one of the sons. And here, Aurangzeb was victorious among the and killed 3 brothers and captured his kingdom. Did you get my point? So Aurangzeb was one of the sons of Shah Jahan, and remaining 3 brothers, he was killed and captured the authority and started his ruling. So finally, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb sent Shah Jahan imprisoned and sent to Agra. Complete lifetime punishment given to his father. Very sad it is. So pity. Next, Aurangzeb, Shah Jahan's son, one of the sons, Aurangzeb started his ruling 1658 and 1707. What were the important events of him? He captured Assam. See here, very few places were left over to capture by the Mughals because his grandfathers already captured more than 50% areas. So remaining place which was not covered by his grandfather Assam, he covered that. And additionally, under his father, many revolts over there, many places revolutions over there. The same old revolutions were continued in his period also. This is the valid point. And revolt all over the places. For example, complete kingdom. For example, Afghanistan, Punjab, Assam, even Deccan. All over the country, the revolutions were started. And here, Guru Tej Bahadur, who belongs to Punjab, and Govind Singh. These 2 personalities are very important. Shivaji and even his own son Akbar too. They also opposed Aurangzeb and they started the revolution against Aurangzeb. And here finally Shivaji declared himself as independent Maratha and he started his ruling Maratha. Right. Next. Right. Shivaji established an independent kingdom Maratha. Next, he conquered. See, his journey was not stopped, even many conflict over there in his kingdom. So he conquered Bijapur in 1685, which was present in Karnataka. Next, Golconda in 1687. Golconda, which is present in Telangana. These 2 areas captured or conquered by Aurangzeb. Next, after that he was dead. After he was succeeded with all the conflict among his sons, but he was died. Here, important point is he was the last strongest person in Mughal Empire. See, after him, many kings came over and ruled his kingdom, like Akbar too, second Akbar, or Bahadur Shah Zafar was last emperor. But even though he was the last powerful Mughal emperor, remember that. And here, one of the thing is mini Taj Mahal. We know Taj Mahal, which is present in Agra, constructed by Shah Jahan. See here, Aurangzeb also constructed as mini Taj Mahal in Aurangabad. But here, what is the importance? Got this mini Taj Mahal. So there his father captured or collected taxes from the people and he struggled people very badly. But here Aurangzeb the money spent, which is spent on mini Taj Mahal construction, every pice is his earning person, earning money. Did you get my point? So he is earning by himself. He did not struggle any person to take the money. Okay, did you get my point? In his own money, he constructed mini Taj Mahal in Aurangabad, which is present in Maharashtra. Right, that is about Aurangzeb. So important thing is Aurangzeb was the last powerful person in Mughal Empire. Who was the founder of Mughal Empire? Babur. Powerful person? Aurangzeb. Who was the last person of Mughal Empire? Bahadur Shah Zafar. The person will come in the next lesson. Right. Next.